guys! So today I wanted to do my May wrap-up. I read about roughly 20 different things this month, and I am so incredibly close to finishing American Gods on audiobook, but I'm not done yet. So I don't want to count it for June, but I guess I'm gonna have to. So it would have been 21 if not for that. I still have one more day in the month, and the likelihood is that I will finish another book, but I didn't want to wait to film this. So let's get started. The first book I read this month was Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delaria. Why do I always say her name wrong? It's Delira. Something. I already did a video where I reviewed this book, so I'm not going to get into it. I thought it was alright. Next is Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. I also did a review video on this, so I'm not going to get into it. If you would like to watch the video that I did of Love Letters to the Dead and Cruel Beauty, I will link it down below. I really enjoyed this one. Next, we have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alir Sands. Another book I really love and already did a video on, so I will link that as well down below. This was a 5-star read for me and super flagged. Next is The One by Kira Cass, which is the final book in the Selection series. This, I thought, was a very solid wrap-up to that series as a whole. And I was very disappointed in the Elite, so this kind of fixed it for me. By the way, my hair is just insanity. Next is a graphic novel, and it is Doctor Who the Hypothetical Gentleman. I had never read a Doctor Who graphic novel, so this was a rather interesting experience for me because I'm so used to the TV show. I enjoyed it. It was good. I mean, I wouldn't say it was the best graphic novel I've ever read, but overall I did enjoy it. Next, we have a book of short stories by Tim Burton, The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories. I bought this on Book Outlet. I was super excited to read it. It is disturbing and adorable in equal parts. If that sounds like something that you would like, pick it up. I really enjoyed this. Next is The Paper Bag Princess, which is an old book that I read when I was much younger, and I had kind of forgotten how cute this book actually is and how wonderfully empowering to girls it is. So I was really excited to get this. I mean, this is barely considered a read because it's a board book, but it's really cute. 5 stars. Next is A Boy Called Dickens by Deborah Hopkinson and John Hendricks. This is sort of a biography on Charles Dickens, but it's really only a biography of like one specific thing that went on in his life, and it is very, very fictionalized. It's very cute. The drawings are really pretty, but for actual accuracy, I would not rate it very high. Next, we have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I really, really enjoyed this book. I want to say I gave this book 4 stars because I feel like being the first one in the series, there's still room for improvement, but overall I genuinely really like this story. I really like the characters, and I really, really loved Selena Sardothian. Next is Of Triton by Anna Banks, and this is the second book in the Of Poseidon series. I read the first one quite a while ago, and I didn't really remember everything that happened. Luckily, this story really picks it up really fast and kind of gives you a quick review, so that was really helpful. I want to say I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed the first one based on what I remember. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading the next one, which is Of Neptune, and it is the final book in this series. Next, we have Saga Volume 1, 2, and 3. I did a full review of this in a mashup video with Aristotle and Dante, so I will link that down below. I loved these. It was 4 stars, 4.5 stars, and 5 stars. Next is Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Brosh. I had been wanting to get this for a very long time, but I did not want to pay full price because it is, and I thought, kind of expensive for what really amounts to a graphic novel, just a longer form graphic novel. I thought it was really good. The way that it's broken down is it's kind of color coded into sections. So like the sections for dogs are certain colors, and I think they're blue, and those were my absolute favorite parts. The white sections, there was one chunky white section in the middle that, to be honest with you, I probably skimmed through it because I just was not super in love with that section. But the rest of the book I really, really enjoyed. So I would recommend this. It is really funny. I mean, I was laughing out loud for most of it. So I would highly recommend this. Next, we have Flipped by Wendelin Van Dranen. I hadn't heard much about this, but I kind of read that it was about first love, and I decided to pick it up because why not? I love first love stories. It was super cute. It's such a short and quick read. I really enjoyed it. By the time the book ended, I kind of wanted it to keep going, and I've heard that it was made into a movie recently, so I am going to have to check that out. And lastly, for the physical books that I read, I have Serenity, Those Left Behind, the graphic novel. This actually fills in the space between the TV show and where the movie starts, and it is awesome. If you consider yourself a fan of Serenity or Firefly, this is a must read. It's wonderfully written. It has the same snap and wit of the show. The characters are everything you'd want them to be and more, and it fills in a couple of little interesting things into where you end up watching the movie at. So highly recommended, 5 stars. So aside from all of the physical books that I've shown you, I've also read a few ebooks. So as I'm talking about them, I will try to figure out a way of putting an image right here. Hopefully it works. If not, sorry. So the first ebook that I read this month was a continuation of a series of adult contemporary romance-ish books that I read, or lady porn as I like to call them. And it is called Waiting on You, and it is written by Kristen Higgins, and it is Blue Heron #3. So it is a book series that she writes about a vineyard and the family, and so all the characters in these separate books are connected. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I have the previous books in the series, or her other books for that matter. It was okay. Next, I read Obsidian, which is book 1 in the Lux series. I actually read book 1 and book 2, so I read Obsidian and Onyx. I read Alienated, I think last month or the month before, and I heard people saying that if you enjoyed Alienated, you would really enjoy Onyx, or I'm sorry, the Lux series. So I decided to give it a shot. I enjoyed them. How to say this? I enjoyed them, but I felt that there was so many Twilight parallels in the first book that it got kind of annoying at times, especially once I got to the second book for some reason, is when those parallels kind of like really like just slapped me upside the face, and I just kept noticing them and picking them up, and it was kind of obnoxious. But I did enjoy the books. I read the first one pretty quickly, and I think the second one I dragged it on a little bit. I do have the rest of them that are out already on my Nook, so I can read them, and I will. I just don't imagine I'm going to read them as quickly as I read the first one, so I'm probably just going to little by little read them before bed every night. But they were good. Lastly, on my Nook this month, I read Invisibility by Andrea Kramer and David Levithan. I really enjoyed this book, and now I realize why every time I talk about Will Grayson, and I say that for some reason I had the idea that it was kind of like a comic-y sort of book. I know why. I completely mixed up the premises of the two books. I really enjoyed Invisibility. It was nothing like I expected it to be going into it. I don't want to give too much away because I feel like not knowing made the experience reading it for me that much better, because I had no idea how things in the story were going to explain themselves. I had no idea how everything was going to go, and I loved reading to find out and just being surprised as I went along. So yes, I really loved Invisibility. I would highly recommend it. I really, really enjoyed that book. So that's it. Those were my 20-ish book reads this month. Like I said, I am so close to being done with American Gods that it feels stupid of me not to count it in this one, but I'm still not finished, so it's like gonna drive me crazy. And I'm also currently reading City of Heavenly Fire. Yes, this is just the dust jacket because the book is over there. I'm about a third of the way through with it, and as soon as I am done shooting this video, I'm gonna go back and read it because it's that good. I didn't even want to stop it to go watch Godzilla today in the theater. Reading time. Bye.